everyone, and welcome back to Game 2 of today's Code Green tournament. Team 22 going against Team 23. Chalk, unfortunately, will not make it through yet again, and Zeus and Mercury are back on their little ban timeout period. Agni goes away, and Ao Kuang first picked here. Hubwa was hovered on, but he is gone now, and Athena hovered on. So Athena and Guan Yu first picked. I actually like this a lot. This is very conservative and also very ambiguous with how they're going to handle their picks.
Yeah, for sure. They saw that Ao Guang was definitely the first pick, so contention for mid lane isn't really going to be there. Habwa is obviously a strong pick, but Agni's still on the board. They don't really have to worry. Yes, you can put Agni in the solo lane, but they don't really have to worry about Team 22 taking a really powerful mid lane away from them. So they just opt. They take a very powerful, could be jungler, but I don't see Lazarus anywhere. They take a very powerful support, very powerful Guan Yu, because he can be played anywhere. As we see the Sobek Cupid Poke Master Fury combo come out for Team 22.
The baby and his crocodile coming out. This is a time-honored combo. In fact, we saw it today. Barracuda and Ionic coming together with Cupid and Sobek. In fact, they got first and second blood in the game they played. A very, very strong combo. And in fact, Heart Bomb is an incredibly useful skill at level 1, hitting twice, doing tons of physical damage. And Cupid is a very useful character. One that really hasn't seen a lot of love, pun intended there, as more of the other hunters tend to be picked up more often. But we're going to see him this time around. Across the way at Team 23, we're going to see Bakasura hovered on here. And Zombie Craze has the opportunity to pick one more god. This will select in the slots here. It looks like they're going to be having either a support, it looks like it's going to be a support Athena with Guan Yu in the solo and Bakasura in the jungle, but then again, all three of those characters can go into multiple lanes, so it may come down to personal preference, but that would be my inclination.
I mean, we have seen in the European tournament a Bakasura solo lane, but I'm pretty sure that's just from the world famous Zelia. So I don't know if we're going to be able to see that Bakasura be in the solo lane tonight. However, as you said, Athena, Guan Yu, all very malleable characters. They can do multiple roles. The Ne Zha pick, two jugglers that have really fallen off or not really super popular these days, Bakasura and Ne Zha. It's really nice to see the little shake-up, nice to see fresh faces and something that's very stagnant in the NA scene, so to speak, and a powerful tier pick. It doesn't really matter where you put tier. Supermine 181 or whoever takes him is going to have a good time.
He's going to bring the law no matter what. Such a strong character and so versatile. Isis hovered on here for their mid selection. With the fact that they have Guan Yu and Athena, this actually puts them in a decent spot. Isis is incredibly useful, and there isn't really anyone to shut down the Isis. Now, Isis has a hard time against a couple gods, Hubwa being one of her nemesis, able to interrupt that Wing Gust with that knockup every single time she does it. That's her main lane clear. But against an Ao Kuang, they're basically just going to be fighting, pushing the lane back and forth, and she's not really too pressured. And with some good Spirit Balls, she can do a lot of work. And we all know Draconic Angel is a well-accomplished player. We're going to see them lock in final picks here for Team 22 tier. Sobek, Cupid, Ne Zha, and Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang going to the mid lane. Looks like we'll have Tyr in the solo lane, played by T-Snipes, no less. Ne Zha going to the jungle, and of course Sobek and Cupid laning up in the 2v2 long lane. Team 23 has Isis, Guan Yu on her, Bakasura, and of course Athena there. Looks like Athena will be going into the support lane with on her, Guan Yu in the solo lane, Isis in the mid lane, and then Bakasura in the jungle. You know, with these bans being typical and already banned out, you know, it seemed like they were heading down their way to either picking up Ao Kuang or one of the, the lower tiered mids after Agni being banned out. Because Ao Kuang goes away, they go for the Isis. That makes things a little bit better. Now, Agni is one of the other nemesis of Isis. Not so much about the Hubwa, but certainly something she wants to avoid. So they're going to ban that out and pick it out immediately.
Yeah, something to look at is definitely the Isis Ao Guang combination or anti-combination. Definitely worth noting that the Isis is on the top of her ladder and the Ao Guang is on the bottom, because Isis can really perform very well against an Ao Guang, but the skill ceiling is definitely very high. Once the Squall comes out, if Isis nails the perfect silence and then nails the perfect Spirit Ball, a good Isis can almost outlast the slow of Squall before the follow-up Tornado or even Spirit Tempest comes out. So we're definitely going to be able to watch how accomplished Draconic Angel does against the Ao Guang, and it's going to be 100% based on player skill, and I'm very excited to see that.
And one thing as well we have to look at is the effective usage of Athena. I think Athena can make a lot of plays here with Ne Zha, Cupid, Ao Guang, these kind of characters that, if caught out, don't have a lot of ways to get away. Ne Zha forced to use his ultimate to get away, Cupid using that dash, and that's pretty much all he has. So if Athena gets a great taunt, that Confound coming out, it could spell curtains for Team 22. But Team 22 has a lot of combo potential with the Cupid ultimate, the Sobek ultimate, Tyr jumping in, Ne Zha, buying time for everything. And one of my favorite combinations is Ne Zha, Ao Guang in the mid lane, go into the ultimate, and as they're falling, hit in the face with Spirit Tempest. It's such a good combo, and it's so very difficult to avoid if you ever get hit by the Ne Zha ultimate. But we're going to cut to a brief delay here as we get into the game and get everything all set up for you, so don't go too far. It's going to be Team 22 versus Team 23. The second round of preliminaries here, round of 16, about to be underway. We'll see you very soon. Hey. Everyone, and welcome back to the second round of preliminaries for today's Code Green tournament. Team 22 going up against Team 23. The players are buying their items and heading out for their day's work. We've got Team 22, the bottom side, now the blue team, T-Snipes on Tyr. Tessurge playing Ne Zha in the jungle. Aladdin Kun on the Cupid going left side, supported by his Guardian. Breticles on Sobek. We do have Supermind 181 on Ao Guang in the mid lane. Across the way, the top side of the map, the destroyed side, Team 23. Zombie Craze on her. King CST on Bakasura. Draconic Angel playing Isis in the mid lane. Anthony 1876 on Guan Yu in the solo lane. And Athena playing the support Guardian role. And this should make FDOT happy. I have Providence.
Fantastic. People that actually know me know that I absolutely praise the unorthodox. I love players that like Pomfun, that do things outside of the box as long as they work. That is definitely a key part of as long as they work. Like, we see a Mark of the Vanguard come out on Breticles, and that's a good choice, assuming that he knows that he's going to be roaming or outside of the lane a lot. So as long as he plays the items that he buys, that's going to work out well for him. Buying an Eye of Providence and then never looking at the consumables page in the store again is probably not the greatest idea.
Yeah, that's something that obviously didn't work out too well in the last match. We're going to see actually completely mirrored starts minus the supports. We're going to see Athena go for the Watcher's Gift and Sobek go for the Mark of the Vanguard here. Pretty much everything else is exactly the same. Now the difference here, Watcher's Gift made its way into the scene prior. Now, it was an item that would give you around 6 GP5 if everything worked out in your favor with last hits and everything. At this point now, with the gold spooling going for 2 to 3 per second, we're going to see a switch over to Mark of the Vanguard more often now. It's more of a personal preference. Athena go for the Watcher's Gift this time around. Now pay attention to the left side of the map here. We could have initiation as they come in a little bit late to the lane. Sobek looking for a charge prey possibly here. On her does have his leap, and Athena most likely has the dash. Looks like Breticle's not wanting to force the gun here at this point. Right side, we do have some action coming out here, going after a few hits there on the Tyr, but he's not really too worried about it.
Yeah, and that was definitely when you buy Mark of the Vanguard, one of the bonuses to having Mark of the Vanguard is the ability to be aggressive early on in the game. Not only because your opponent is going to be a lot squishier, as we see the Confound come out, Shifting Sands come out, Charge Prayer. Actually, that was a Sickening Strike, but nothing really of consequence there. With Mark of the Vanguard, you have a little more leeway to be a little more aggressive, and that Charge Prey, I'm not the one playing the game, but definitely should have come out right there. Opts to not do it. Kind of slinks around in the jungle just to play little mind games, make the other team think that he rotated from mid camps when he's really just hanging out.
Guan Yu meeting his unfortunate end for First Blood in the right side. Tyr got a beautiful juggle into the tower, and Ne Zha was there too. Left side, we saw Athena getting picked off here by the Cupid Sobek combination. The grab came out into the Heart Bomb, and he's going to be taken out there on her, forced to jump away, level 3. And Cupid is just throwing out these stuns left and right. That blue buff about to fall off here on her, doing the best he can at this point. So a 2-0 lead for Team 22. Charge Prey not going to land, and on her is going to get out of dodge. He does not want to fall prey to what Athena fell prey to already. Mid camp's going to go to left side, is going to go to Team 23. The right side will go to Ao Guang as well as the Ne Zha. Ice is kind of sitting in the mid lane, farming happily here at this point. Look at the graphs. We're going to see a slight lead for Team 22, 600 gold and 300 experience due to that first and second blood. But at this point, it's not that huge. I think the biggest thing is that they took out the Guan Yu instead of the Bakasura, which is fortunate because that physical pod is still active.
Yeah, and the Bakasura is also thanks to some aggressive warding done by Team 23. Bakasura has denied Naja of not one but two. I think they also stole back Harpy Camp. The counter jungling is definitely one of Bakasura's strengths, and he is milking it to its full potential. As Naja is just kind of sitting around saying, "Hey, I don't have anybody to PvE. What do I do?" And he's going to leech a little from the middle, as we see. Bakasura kind of, the artillery sash is missed. So is the universe ring toss, and Bakasura just left clicks his way to XP.
You know, it's really strange to see that situation because Bakasura stole away, and you're exactly right. And Bakasura probably one of the best jungle speed clearers, and also because of that, he's very, very strong at contesting camps, especially with Eat Minion available to just, hey, I want this buff, give it, and he takes it and he runs away. It's so incredibly frustrating, especially with that Hand of the Gods available. Naja gonna make over to the back Harpy camp to clear this one out. Make sure he just gets a little bit gold and experience. Naja has yet to go back to the base, actually, still sitting on that bomb as Bakasura makes his way to left side. He does have his ultimate available. Regurgitate would come through. There goes the taunt on the left side. Cupid used the dash, and here comes Bakasura. Fields of love on the ground, but at what cost? Bakasura from behind. Evasa still alive. Sobek ultimate will secure it, but Cupid will get secured in the meantime. Bakasura has got dinner. Athena got away. Sobek couldn't keep in range. The preemptive strike dashes away just in time, and Breticles is left just looking at the baby. Baka's going down in the lane and on her throwing spears. That's going to be the first kill for Team 23, and it's going to be little baby Cupid.
Yeah, and the fact that that kill went onto Bakasura is very scary for Team 22, because as they were definitely beating the duo lane, as we see a Charge Prey and a Shifting Sands come out, just kind of trading abilities right now, just to not be the silent one. As Desert Fury comes out, totally takes out Breticles. My mistake. What looked like an innocent engagement turned into an absolute decimation. Surprised me, and I'm pretty sure the Sobek as well.
He hung out for far too long. Aiden and Pale and the minions were doing work on top of him as well. If we could see his death cap, I would imagine at least 20 to 30% of his HP was just purely the ranged minions that he was just tanking those arrows from. Blue buffs on the right side are now respawning. Actually, blue buffs everywhere as we cross over the 4-minute and 45, now 50-second mark. Of course, the buffs have a 4-minute timer, so this is around the time they're all respawning. Ao Guang in the mid lane going up against the Isis, and as predicted, Isis and Ao Guang kind of just having that farm game pushing back and forth. Isis getting the better end of it because Baka is more active on those mid camps. Tier on the right side going to push this up. Looks like both blue buffs are still available. On the right side of the map, left side, Sobek and Cupid going to get this. Athena on her way over, not going to get there in time as Naja was assisting. The ward goes down. They know it's their Charge Break coming out. Throw to the wall. The heart bomb's on it. She's going to ult immediately. Defender of Olympus going to keep her out. Or is it? On her, jumps in. Artillery sash. There goes the Fields of Love. He's actually crippled now. As the face goes down, Zombie Craze putting it back here. Does he have enough? There goes the dash. The Flutter comes out. A few shots. He does have a Disperse coming up soon. Is it going to be in time? It's not. That's not the jump he was looking for as he goes up into the air and crashes back down to the earth. That greedy play from Honor, I think that was just a big miscommunication. Athena was like, please get me out. And I was like, Honor was like, go back in? Is that what you want?
That is a very, very, very mad Athena. 9 times out of 10 as an Athena, when you're ulting somebody, you are saying, run in, run in, run in, and they're kind of just left-clicking minions, not really sure of what to do. That was a time where Anhur knew it was going and ran in, but he just did not look at the HP of his Athena, as Athena was melted by the Fields of Love. And it's worth noting that this Cupid Sobek combo definitely had the advantage, not only just the matchup, but in their actual farm early on. And even with that death, Cupid, Athena on her really kind of eliminated that, and we're neck and neck in that duel lane, thanks to Bakasura helping out not once but twice.
Yeah, Bakasura being there at the right place. This time Naja was over there on the right time and didn't seem to make that big of a difference until on her jump forward. Athena's going to find Sobek in the left side and push this out. Looks like the Heart Secret has been completed there for both Cupid as well as the Bakasura. On her kind of lagging behind 1-1-1, 3,500 gold versus the Cupid who's currently 3,700 gold. So a 200 gold differential. Looking at the gold in hand for the Honor, he actually has enough to finish the Heart Secret right now. 720 is what you need, and Honor has 800, so he needs to be making his way home to finish that off as soon as he possibly can. Athena ulting though into, it looks like the mid lane. No, looks like she's looking for it but not going to find it. Sobek takes the opportunity to dash in here. Tail up comes out, no opportunity just yet. Impale's gonna miss. Heart bomb on the ground looking for the defender. Is she gonna find it? She's gonna disappear to the mid lane, dumping right on top of the Naja. Naja goes down, and now Ao Guang out of mana. Wind Gust hit on top of that, forced back towards his tower, leaving on her by himself. But it didn't really matter a whole lot. On her's alone, but they got the Naja, which was huge.
Yeah, the Athena ult was definitely a little early, but it didn't seem to matter as they just landed and converging of the ults. Everything just sort of came out and melted that Naja. Good Spirit Tempest from Superline 181. He kind of got out of there very successfully. Hit more than one person with the Spirit Tempest, which always feels good, but didn't really wind up in any kills, which is a good thing because it was probably him that was going to get killed in that encounter.
A tough situation and something you have to really deal with. Strange decision making here from the Bakasura. Picks up tier 1 boots and then directly into tier 1 Fatalis. Maybe a slight increase in movement speed just to finish it off with Heartseeker. Taunt comes out in front of the mid cam. Naja in a lot of trouble. Does he have an ultimate? Looks like he does not. Charge Prey through the tornado. Bakasura artillery stash, tail whip. CC chain is good enough, but can they get the kill? One Squall will do it. The bounce from the Universe Ring off of Isis's forehead. That's got to be unfortunate. Isis, no turnaround for the Spirit Ball. There goes the teleport. Is it going to be successful? They got the DPS. The Heart Bomb goes off there, and Isis goes down as well on her late to the party. But is he going to be able to escape, or will he go down with his friends? Impale going to secure the escape there. Good play, very secure. Should have been there a little bit sooner, but at the same time, Cupid is so vehement about pushing that lane before he leaves that Honor is kind of locked in.
Yeah, it's really interesting that we have not one but two rank 3 teleports on Team 23, and Cupid. This is an interesting counter because when you think counter, you usually think character versus character. Heart Bomb actively counters the teleport item because after they teleport, you can't do any damage unless there's a dot or a Heart Bomb on them. So that is definitely an unforeseen counter for Team 22. But just another thing that's winding up in their favor is they're slowly but surely up 1,200 gold.
Yeah, they're looking very sharp right now. 9 minutes and 25 seconds in this match. You can see a big difference for them. There goes the blue buffing picked up by Cupid. Right side, Tier's going to make his way home as Guan Yu is pushing forward, looking at the solo lane island over here. Guan Yu sitting at 900 gold versus the Tier, who's currently at 5,700 gold. So Tier making a big lead here as he just jumps on a horse. He just wants to go out. It looks like he was expecting some kind of gank, or maybe it was a misclick. He's going to go back towards tower and go on home there. Does have the teleport available to make his way back. Naja in the way, looking for opportunity to do something on the right side of the map here. Great vision in front of the Gold Fury for Team 23. They got it in a big line across the way. One ward behind the backside of Gold Fury for Team 22, but, I mean, even with the vision, Team 23 needs to step it up.
Yeah, just another thing that I the vision is fantastic, and really they're getting beat in one-on-one engagements as Athena charges her ult. Where did the Defender of Olympus come down?
Solo lane.
Oh.
Initiates on her. Impale comes out. He doesn't have a jump. Feels the love on the ground. There goes the ultimate coming out to somebody. He's lurking in the waters. The bite comes out, and the exploding bomb will do it. Mid lane, look for the Naja. Can he get the hit? Going on top. This is the combo right here. He has to hit the timing properly. It's going to come through. Charging on top. Ice is going to get knocked up, but unfortunately enough, it's not going to do enough. There's circle protection on the ground. Instantly popped for the heal. The crits are coming out. Gets the hit. Wind Gust coming through. Isis gets the kill on Ao Guang and makes his way out here as Naja is in trouble. The Regurgitate comes out and Bakasura gets the appetizer, and Isis just casually goes back to laning Draconic Angel. You've earned the right to go home.
Wow. And that is the skill differential that I was talking about. Now, it's worth noting as a charge prey is missed by Breticles, he's engaging on this Bakasura, which he definitely doesn't want to do. Team 22 did everything correctly. The Naja ult came out. The Spirit Tempest was perfectly timed. There was a tornado on the ground, but Isis just outnumbered them and outmaneuvered them and out-silenced them and was able to kill one enough for the jungler to come and respond just like the textbook that doesn't exist says.
Well, what's unfortunate about that is Ao Guang was a little bit early, so the ultimate didn't do the damage. So, I mean, Isis was quite low. In fact, it looked like it was going to be either enough to drop her down to about 100 HP or just kill her outright. So, unfortunately enough, Ao Guang just didn't get the timing right, and that could have gone better for them. And, you're going to see the follow-up here from Isis picking up a Doom Orb in the aftermath of that engagement. So, just the poor timing in that combo made things go poorly, and, of course, the lack of disengage. So, back on the left side, going to eat a spear to the face as On Her and Athena back off here. Looks like Naja's on his way over, but definitely late here going for this mid-camp. Spirit Ball is going to pick that one up. The left side tower is a sneeze away from falling down. They just need to push this and see if they can't get the damage. The Confound comes out, Shield Wall doing some damage, but the Heart Bomb comes out. Fields of Love, Charge Prey! They're not wasting any time. Does she have the ultimate, or will she go for it? Preemptive Strike gets away. They're going to abandon the on her. She's going to dash forward towards the right side of the map, actually, on the right tower, and they'll both be fine, but this is a guaranteed tower.
Yeah, I mean, here comes a minion lane, so the question of whether or not they can shove it doesn't even have to come out. The teleport's coming out on that tower. It's definitely not even going to come out, and they might have wanted to just let the teleport come out as we see Bakasura engaging on the Cupid from the back. Sobek doesn't even realize the tail whip comes to disengage. The Flutter is not enough to get him away from the Bakasura, just basic attacking him to death. Charge Spray would have been a great disengage, but Isis showed up, Wayne gusted him down. The Spirit Tempest misses everything. Guan Yu's in the back. Armillary says to stop the Talo Assault. Cavalry Charge comes out, forces the Lurking in the Waters from Sobek, and that's a disengage.
Tyr taking the opportunity to take out the right side tower, and he's going to have to do it quick because they're going to go for a Gold Fury. Oh, their teleports come out. Will they save the tower and get the Gold Fury? Isis makes his way over, and that is going to be the end of that. So Tyr unable to get any gold for his team. This is going to put them up. You see the gold graph shooting right down in favor of Team 23, a 900 gold differential. 2,400 experience. Now Sobek in trouble as Bakasura isn't done yet. Naja caught out. Bad positioning here. Will they be able to capitalize? It looks like they're not really committed to it. Tyr on the right side looking for that tower. Ao Guang still in the mid lane. Sobek going home. They're just going to steal away the buffs to add insult to injury. And Tyr is just still looking. He wants that tower so bad.
That's the solo lane strife right there. The only thing in the solo lane's brain is we see Cupid get a little harassment from his own blue buff. The only thing exists in these people's minds over here on Solo Lane Island is their individual towers. Tyr definitely did a great job, and good heads-up play from Isis, not only making it over there, but realizing that she needed to make it over there. That is something that a lot of players could just put tunnel vision on that gold tree. Objective. Wait, there's a tower that's going down. That's a lot of global gold that we can't afford. Tyr is very deep right now as they're just chasing Draconic Angel, trying to get a shutdown on that Doomorb. He engages on the Ao Guang. Armillary Sash misses. Here comes the dunk, misses. Defender of Olympus is out. They want this engagement. It is 2v4, and they are comfortable with this. Confound comes out, nothing to do with it. Tail hits Draconic Angel. Spirit Ball doesn't stun anybody. Universal Ring Toss actually gets Draconic. Fields of Love is way out of position. More people. Wow. This is just another on her death from Breticles. Great job on that. Great job. That is a 1 for 2 from Team 22, which is in behind. So that engagement can definitely help them out as far as getting back. Not that they're out of this game, but getting the lead back in their favor.
We're going to see a big pickup there, 2 for 1, actually. Unfortunately enough, Ao Guang took the route towards his tower instead of the route towards his team. And in some situations during a big engagement like that, especially if you're winning the engagement and you have some kind of isolation where there's an assassin on top of you, you have to head towards your team at that point. He was not going to make it towards his tower. He got dunked on. And in 1v1, Bakasura is going to win that. I mean, Bakasura even took the Spirit's Tempest to the face and then ended up just getting dunked down by the takedown, ironically enough. Cupid's going to get the mid caps here. Looking at the graph, we're going to see it kind of move towards Team 22's favor. We see 500 gold and 1,400 experience in favor of Team 23, and almost a 16-minute mark right now as Bakasura pushes out the left side. Looking at itemization, we do see Mystical Mark and Boots done for Guan Yu, but then you look over at Tyr, he's like, I'll raise you a Tier 2 Jotun's Wrath at this point. He's looking pretty sharp. Chin Sai's done on her. Overway to the Cupid. Cupid elected to finish the Warrior Tabi first, and now going for those Chin Sais. Probably the best item in the game right now for literally everyone that can use it. We see the Hasten Fatalis on Bakasura completed. Voidstone 2 started up there for the Isis. Athena goes into a double taunt on the left side. There goes an Impale, not going to land. Now going for the Sobek. We have 2 fights going on the screen right now. Right side, Tyr getting surrounded, but you can't really box a Tyr as he jumps right over that one. Jumping on top is Bakasura. Good cleave combo coming out. There goes the Warhorse. The Cavalry Charge comes through, biting through. Naja goes down. Tyr by himself. He doesn't have a tower to run to. He's going to go up towards the enemy tower. I don't believe he leashed the time properly. This could be a kill either way. The takedown, a few bites. He has the Hasten Fatalis, but he gets cleaved away. The charge gets interrupted by the taunt, and he gets taken out. Athena making plays, but at the cost of Anher's life. It's gonna be a 2 for 1 in favor of Team 23.
Yeah, you know, Team 22 definitely is doing a good job of hanging in there. Team 23 is demolishing them in a lot of these fights, and Team 22 is staying grounded, staying aware of the pluses and minuses, and being really realistic of how far out they are. A lot of times teams can really get dejected and get down, and morality is definitely a big deal. As we see Draconic Angel being surrounded by three members that really don't want to go in the circle of protection. Heart Bomb goes out. Three members that easily could have gotten Draconic Angel decided to back off. That's how scary a level 17 Isis is against level 14s.
You know, it's surprising too because she has such a simple skill set that people don't expect the amount of damage that she can deal with those two abilities, Spirit Ball on top into the Wind Gust. It's so incredibly surprising, even in situations where you're prepared for it. We're going to see some warding battles coming out here in the mid lane as the Heart Bomb comes out. Guan, you're going to get that mid camp. That Harpy was worth his life here. 45 gold picked up and secured. He's going to make his way across towards the top side of the map. We see Voidstone almost done by the Isis. That penetration is desperately needed at this point. Doom Orb giving you some damage, CDR with Choose a Focus, but needs that pen to start scaling up for abilities. We do see Pestilence too for the Athena, but here comes an engagement as Athena ultimate comes down on top of the Cavalry Charge, hitting on top of Naja. The taunt comes through, shield wall on the ground, going up and in the air though, saving himself some time. Tornadoes on the ground, need an ultimate from Ao Kuang. Does he have it? He does, he's not using it. Looks like he doesn't have enough mana just yet. The bounces from the Universe Ring Toss, there goes the Ao Kuang ultimate. Guan Yu goes down anyways, and here is some free lunch, says Sobek, but can they get it? The Flutter to secure. Athena's going to go down here. Now backing up towards the mid tower. Isis is going to push this down by herself, but not able to get it. And one important thing to notice as we're looking at the aftermath of all these engagements, Honor has sold his Heartseeker.
You know, that's never that's something a lot of players say to do. Oh, you've died X amount of times, sell your Heartseeker. As the pulse comes out by Evasa, we see King CST actually DC'd. So I'm sure this is going to be a quick, as soon as he responds back to the game, we'll get into it. But selling the Heartseeker is something that I almost never agree with. Mathematically, all you need is 13 stacks for it to be worth the gold and worth keeping. Plus, movement speed is one of the most underrated abilities or stats in the game. Being able to move faster than your opponent not only lets you be aggressive, it also lets you be defensive. It lets you juke better, lets you do all sorts of things. So the idea to sell the Heartseeker will allow Zombie Craze to perhaps be a little more offensive if he opts to get some Void Blade or something that'll just help him stay committed more. But personally, it's not something that I really like to see. Now, as we're sitting in this pause, I really just want to commend Evasa. Her taunts have been so on point. A lot of times, Shifting Sands comes out from on her, and it's as we get unpaused, Shifting Sands will come out from on her, and it's a little misplaced. And Athena is allowing that to happen by using Confound to get the opponent into position to get impale stunned. As we see Team 20, as we see the blue team engaging on the Gold Fury.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take out that Gold Fury for free. At this point, there's no contest in there. You see both Guan Yu and Athena went down, and Guan Yu actually picked up Tier 3 Hand of the Gods. So that is both their objective securing potential gone, and they're going to take that opportunity to go straight for the Gold Fury, which is honestly a veteran choice. You really have to understand the game to be able to decide. Even though their people are up right now, we can take out this Gold Fury. They realize that both the Guan Yu and the Athena are down. There's no Hand of the Gods available. Even if they want to contest it, they're going to have to do it with abilities. We have Tier 3 Hand of the Gods on Sobek. Let's get a free 1,500 gold and be done with it, and they're going to get that right now. Look at the graph. They're going to pull ahead by 2,200 gold and 1,000 experience due to that tower dive from the Guan Yu, as well as the Athena. They're going to go down. And you're exactly right. I mean, it's exactly how I called it in the picking stage. It's going to come down to Athena and whether or not she gets some great taunts. We're going to see the Tier 3 Deathbringer finally done from Naja, and this is where Naja starts to peak. He is just so good when he gets that hit off, and it's so very strong.
Yeah, definitely. Naja gets very strong at being an anti-mage, essentially, late game. A lot of junglers fall off as their ability to impact team fights don't really exist late game, as they're just squishy assassins. But Naja stays eternally relevant, as she can just find a mage, ultimate, especially if that Deathbringer is online, and just completely decimate a mage and take them out of the encounter.
Being picked off there. We're going to see a big engagement coming up soon. They're going to have to start fighting for something. Now, one thing to note, Naja was actually a top-tier jungler for a time. The rings were nerfed and then brought back up to speed, and Naja had about a month of just pure just strong picks. And what happened it was a number of things, but the biggest thing is just the introduction of the Aegis Pendant, where you activate that immunity during CC, and all of a sudden the sash into cancel into ultimate immediately after to get that ultimate off is no longer viable. But look across the way. We're going to see Team 23 have Hand of the God Teleport Purification Beads, Hand of the God with the Eye of Providence. Ne Zha can run rampant here. Now, obviously, it's going to force the beads from the Isis, force the beads from the Anhur. Bakasura has yet to pick up any kind of counter to that. So Ne Zha, like you said, late game is a hunter and mage killer. You jump in, and honestly, if you get enough crit, you get enough pen, you get enough damage, you can almost one-shot a single target once you get him caught in that ultimate, and that's exactly what Ne Zha, played by Test Surge, is going to look to do as we see another pause. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this one.
All right, King CST is having a lot of connectivity issues. I hope we can fix that. This was definitely an exciting game. I think Team 23, oddly enough, down is the one to watch. The duo lane wasn't doing too hot, but Bakasura is definitely doing a lot of work in the jungle, sitting at level 19, just completely outclassing Ne Zha at this point in time. Draconic Angel is also doing a fantastic job in the middle lane, as my ears are being completely destroyed by whoever's pinging the map right now.
Oh boy, hopefully we don't have a repeat of the debacle about a month ago, though. So that looks like we're going to avoid that situation. Tier 2 Chin's Blade start up here for Bakasura, almost guaranteed to get Chin size. It's such a fantastic item. So on her, like we were talking about, sold off that Heartseeker. Now it's going to net you, just under 1,000 gold, or around 1,000 gold when you sell it. But at the same time, I mean, that's like tier 1 of an item maybe gets you to a tier 2 of an item, and you lose that possibility of damage. And you look at the map right now, all tier 3 towers are still available for Team 23. The jungle is available. He has the availability to get those stacks back up, and that damage is there. Honestly, the sale of that Heartseeker is going to hurt him more than help him at this point. Now, of course, he is 1-4, so he's thinking to himself, I'm not going to get this thing stacked up if I keep playing the way I'm playing. He just needs to take a minute, take a couple minutes, get those stacks, come in for a team type strong, and just work on his position to leverage those stacks. The damage is so very valuable. He's going to like to sell at this point. Let's look at his gold in hand. It looks like he has 700. He sold it, and looks like he picked up tier 2 beads immediately and finished his Chin size. So he has spent a lot of that money already to get, a 2-minute cooldown purification beads, has the Chin size and a little bit of penetration. But then you look across the way to Cupid, Heartseeker, Warrior Tabi, Chin size, tier 1, Deathbringer, and he's going to be looking to bring death, and he most likely will if it keeps going the way it is.
Yeah, and it goes back to the very first thing we said, that Cupid Sobek combo is just very, very nasty. And it hasn't even been a skill differential. Reticles and Cupid Aladdin Kun are definitely doing well, but it's not as if Evasa and Zombie Craze are exactly pooping the bed. They're doing well. They're nailing pillar combos. They're getting good confounds. It's just the fact that Breticles is nailing those charge sprays every time. I'm pretty sure I've only seen Aladdin Kun miss one heart bomb, and that damage is just gonna ramp up. And like I said, it's definitely interesting to see the difference of this fight as we see the dual lane on Team 22 be absolutely dominant in where they're at. And the red team, the jungler on King CST, hopefully he can get back, is absolutely dominating his jungle. So you have sort of a 50-50 split of who's dominating who. And even though it seems very unbalanced, they're unbalanced in a balanced, unbalanced way. So we just want to keep our balance.
Balance is the whole idea here. I think Team 23 is doing a good job of that. They have a good split of damage. You see, never mind. 2 sovereignties being picked up here.
I was just going to mention that.
That is a bit of a miscommunication. Now, sovereignty is something you gotta have. It's compulsory. You have to have at least 1 sovereignty on your team. The aura is too valuable to pass up. You gotta have it. But 2 of them, not so much. Now, there are other options available other than sovereignty. If you want the health and the physical protection, you have Midgardian Male, you have Hide of the Leviathan, you have Hide of the Urchin, Hide of the Nemean Lion even, which doesn't get picked up as much anymore, but certainly is an option. You have other things that provide better passives, and that aura does not stack. You're not going to have more than 1 of the sovereignty aura. So it's something that, Team 23 is going to have to work on. And I think at this point, they have enough pressure for Guan Yu to honestly just pick up like a Jotun's Wrath and just start shredding people with his Towel Assault, and then forcing those team fights because the damage output is a little bit limited, especially given the fact that Anhur's not going to be putting out the numbers that they need him to.
Yeah, I think the choice on Sovereignty, I don't think it was exactly a mistake. As the unpause comes out, Bakasura is back. We are back. Everybody seems to be laning. So I'll continue this discussion. I think the choice to go Sovereignty wasn't a mistake as far as thought process is concerned. As this engagement might be a mistake. Nope. Naja doesn't want it. Naja decided to walk away. But he might have chosen to go Sovereignty because of the amount of action that was going on in his solo lane. As we see an engagement on this tower, the silence comes out, the universal ring pulse comes out. Guan Yu is on the horse, gets the stun onto Ao Guang. The tower goes down. Ao Guang is in the air. Naja ulted. The Spirit Tempest comes out onto Anthony 1876, but he is Guan Yu and he will get away. Just kidding, as Cupid gets a heart bomb on his face. Athena is opting to ultimate out. Can she get the Defender of Olympus in time? And she can, but it's into another meat grinder as Draconic Angel is just down for the count.
Let's go and roll that back just a second. So initiation coming out. It came from Team 23. They went on the tower, but they used so much with little effectiveness. You see the Universe Ring Toss coming out here, bouncing between the Guan Yu and the Athena, doing so much work. They're going to get the Guan Yu. Athena jumps out, but at the same time, they were forced out in different directions, and Ice is now isolated by the Sobek and the Tyr, and it's just, they were too split up. They had the initiation. You saw the cavalry charge come out from the Guan Yu. They pushed the envelope there, but then it all fell apart and they scattered on the fringes, and Team 22 had the damage they need. You look at the charts here, 2,600 gold, 5,800 experience. They're going to get the mid tower, another 1,500 to add to their coffers here. 2 minutes left on the gold free if they want to go down that road. But at the same time, I think this also comes down to the fact that they're not getting the damage they would want from the Anhur as well, who was kind of forced back in the back lines and ended up surviving there, or actually respawning just now. But, I mean, it was just too much damage, and well played by Team 22 to be disciplined and focused on the initiation to get the characters they needed, and then Team 23 was left with the characters that didn't have the finishing power that they wanted, and all of a sudden they lost their tier 2 tower. They're behind even more, 4,600 gold on the numbers. Left tower now under pressure here. They're going to have Bakasura back in 30 seconds, but it's going to be a 4-man defend.
Yeah, and I mean, that engagement was definitely Team 23's. There's absolutely no reason why that needs to go that way. As we see Naja, our Military Sashi Vesa, she's got a 3-level advantage on her, so that might be a good... There is a teleport coming out, and all of a sudden, Naja is surrounded. The Spirit Ball comes out. The Wind Gust comes out. Blows the ultimate to get away. Draconic Angel is still chasing, but his Snipes comes out with the Longbringer, comes out with the Fearless combo. The stun, the Wind Gust, Tyr is just not going to get it. Great confound by Evasa to save her middle lane as Tyr is still chasing, but is definitely in no man's land right now.
Ice is by herself, going to the jungle. There's a Naja, there's a circle protection, there's a Tyr. The Universe Ring's going to slow him down. Good Spirit Ball in the face to shut him down. The taunt, the silence, the cleave's not going to hit, and Draconic Angel flaps his wings of destiny to get away from that one. But Bakasura in the backlines here looking for something. Looks like Guan Yu in the backlines looking for something, but Sobek as well as the Ao Guang are going to be enough to take that one down. The Gold Fury spawns in 20 seconds. Draconic Angel making the plays, but not making up the difference, as 5,200 gold and 10.7k experience are in the favor of Team 22. It's not looking so sharp, and they're heading to the point where they will be on tilt.
100%, 100%. That was fantastic play by Draconic Angel. That was fantastic play, but unfortunately, Smite is a team game, and you need to have 5 people to play on your team. And so one of the things that Team 23, going back to that first initiation, as we see them flirting with the idea of Fire Giant, but ultimately deciding against it, as Team 22 goes for the Gold Fury, Zombie Craze sees what's going on. It looks like we're going to have a counter initiation. Defender of Olympus comes out. The Pillar Stun comes out. Anhur is in the air with Naja. Fields of Love comes down. Zombie Craze is down. Ring Toss is out. And the Gold Fury goes to Team 22, who ultimately initiated on it. That went pretty much how they planned it, I'm pretty sure. They expected that. Draconic Angel down after a tier initiation. Snipes is all by himself after that kill, though. Anthony 186 on Guan Yu with the Talo Assault. There's just lots of damage going out against Team 23. We see 3 members go down. Guan Yu's going to hide under his tower, but at this point in time, I don't know how much protection the tower's going to offer him, Drybear.
You know, the hardest part about this is just when players pay attention. We saw Cupid hit the teleport on the ward, which would have been the Guan Yu coming in strong. Alcohol ends up coming out, not going to hit there, and Guan Yu is in a terrible situation under tower as Cupid kind of working around the body of Bakasura. He goes down, gets picked off there. Tier 2 tower, that's going to be another 1,500 gold. You know, you looked at that, that was a 3 versus 2. If Cupid didn't hit that ward and was paying attention, sees that teleport coming through, for those of you who don't know, wards, if they're being teleported to, are immediately available and visible to everyone on the enemy team. Cupid hits it, destroys the ward, the teleport fails, and turns what could have been a 3 versus 3 into 3 versus 2. The Naja ultimate made it a 3 versus 1 with one person left on the ground, taking him down. The damage output's enough, and that's going to be a big cleanup for Team 22. They get the Isis, they get the Athena, Guan Yu gets away to the tower, and then gets executed. Naja, though, on the back end here with the Cupid jumping right in. Cupid getting forced down, circle protection takes him down. Naja's up in the air looking for opportunity to kill off the Athena. She's so tanky, the taunt comes out, the rings, gets a crit and takes out the Athena before he goes down. It's a 2 for 1. You know, it was a good play, but at the same time, not necessary. They just need to be disciplined enough to get out. They waste the Phoenix that they got with 2 deaths. They get the Athena, big deal. That's a support tank. They could have got out better, but even though it's all said and done, almost 10k gold in the lead. The map is in their favor. It's all looking good.
100%. It's worth noting as we see Team 23 trying to make up this difference, engaging on the Fire Giant. This was the team in the lead. They had a 2k lead as Bakasura smells what's going on, saying, "Hey, what's up, guys? I want a little part of this." He's gonna start basic attacking, and it looks like they're gonna secure this. Tier doesn't have Hog 3.
Oh,
Fire Giant goes down to Team 22.
Fire Giant stolen. Dunk from Tyr, going after the Isis, gets the cleave, and now Guan Yu on the right side. He's so low in Tyr. He's hungry. He's not done yet. He's going to find it. There's the Fearless. Second hit. One hit on the cleave, and Guan Yu goes down looking for the Athena. Bakasura, he's like, I like minions. He's going to be backing here on the back end. Looks like he actually might have disconnected his bar. His above his head no longer. DC coming through quite soon, it looks like. Unfortunately enough, Baka wasn't able to stay connected there, but in the meantime, the right side tower goes down. Nope, he's back into the game. Has made it back in. Looks like he's just bugged out at this point. Has no bar. See if I can actually flicker that. Nope, no bar for Bakasura. He's just not existing at this point. Right side Phoenix being forced down here by T-Type Supermind and Breticles. Athena jumps in, goes for the taunt, gets 2 of them, but needs to be careful because they're hungry and they are very angry. Forcing this back towards the Phoenix. That's going to be it. The Fire Giant was stolen away. They got killed off. It's not looking good for Team 23, and if they're going to do this, it's going to be under Phoenix or under Minotaur.
Yeah, I think that's the end of it for Team 23. Again, they had the lead, and what happened was you do have to play the lead, but you can't let the lead play you. They got very aggressive when they really shouldn't have. They overestimated their lead, and this is what happened. 1 tower, 2 tower, 1 pick, 2 pick. As the Confound comes off into Tier, catches him off guard. Military Sash completely misses. We kind of have a standoff in this middle lane. Red team knows that they can't do much about this, but at the end of the day, this is my Phoenix. I have to protect it. Blue team is just kind of pushing onto this middle Phoenix.
T-Snipes getting jumped on here. Huge amounts of damage. Dashes away. The Boxer wants it. The Lawbringer gets the distance. He's still alive. Alcohol's going to hit the Athena there. The Warhorse is out, and Naja's going to go down there. Unfortunately enough, he doesn't have his ult passive, so no support coming out. The Tornado's on top of the Athena, getting quite low, as Sobek dives tower. Charge break, getting the delivery for the Guan Yu. The Heart Bomb will be the final goodbye for Guan Yu. The Impale comes out, but doesn't get the stun. The mid Phoenix is down. The right side Phoenix about to go down. Now the left Phoenix will be responding soon at a weakened state, but at the same time you've got the Fire Nation bearing down on you. You've got so many damages coming out here. T-Snipe's still alive. Desert Fury, crits coming out. Zombie Craze wants it. He wants to make it up for his team. Sickening Strike, Charge Prey, Tail Whip. Can he get a solo kill on the honor? He's gonna get it with that Cupid. Spirit Ball comes out there. One more death will be the end of this. Heart Bomb. Few shots, 2 shots, 3 shots, boom, there goes the dynamite. Athena goes down, Charge Prey, it's gonna be enough, and Isis, to add insult to injury, goes down as well. The Minotaur gonna suffer from a fatal blow, hits the ground. That's gonna be the end. Team 22 takes the round of 16 and moves on to earn their name in this Code Green tournament.
Wow. That's all I can really say, Dry Bears. Wow. Team 23 had the lead in the beginning, and they just... the thing is, Team 23 needed to recognize, Red Team needed to recognize that Hunter is no longer called carry, and your carry is malleable. Their carry was Bakasura and Isis. They had an incredible lead over not only both their lanes, but the rest of the enemy team completely. And they still depended on their Anhur, who was multiple thousands of gold behind. They depended on the Anhur for those mid-initiation damages. They depended on him for all of that when they really should have waited for Isis and Bakasura. We saw one of the most pivotal engagements go down in the middle lane on the tier 2 tower, when Team 23 could have converted that into a beautiful kill, into an objective or a tower kill. The problem was they chose to dive in as soon as Anhur got there, not as soon as Bakasura was there. Bakasura was in the back jungle, way in Kansas, couldn't contribute, and because of that, 3 of them died to 0. That opened up the ability for the blue team to go grab another objective, and that wasn't the game all by itself, but that was the beginning of the end for the red team in this case.
You know what's unfortunate about this is you saw Athena spread herself a little bit too thin in these engagements, on her not dealing the numbers that Team 23 absolutely needed to be successful here. It was just too little and too few and far between for Team 23. Boxer got in there dropping 14,000 damage. We saw 18,000 damage dealt by the Isis, having some wonderful plays, no doubt. Guan Yu had a very limited 1,800 healing. Generally, you see him anywhere from 4K to 9K depending on the match, but that's generally because he's the solo laner. He joins the fight a little bit late, and by then it was already over. Across the way, Team 22, 27,000 damage dealt by little baby Cupid, coming out strong. Sobek, 15,000 damage dealt. I mean, Team 22 looked so sharp in this match, and you can't take anything away from them. Every aspect that they needed to accomplish, they accomplished it. They had it. It was all in line. It was all in place. Ao Kuang 5-2 and 13 with 16,000 damage. A little bit low for an Ao Kuang generally, but he was kind of the focus of most of his engagements. You saw Bakasura jumping in repeatedly, trying to take out the Ao Kuang, usually eating a Spirit's Tempest to his face and then jumping in, trying to get the kill. But it just came down to proper positioning, good awareness, good focus. You even look at Team 22. I mean, they had 4 finished actives, 3 unfinished actives, and 3 unpurchased actives. Cupid didn't even buy an active that entire game, F. He didn't even buy one. He didn't need one because all he needed was to do damage. His team had his front line covered.
Just pulling a Wagner, going straight for the items, straight for the damage, no defensive necessary. I'm Cupid. I'm doing almost 30,000 damage. I have 11 kills. Very, very confident. And that's an example of playing the lead and not letting the lead play you. Exactly what you're saying about Bakasura, just extremely confident, jumping in there, taking a Spear Tempest to the face. He sort of let the lead play him. He was very strong, but as we see the ending slash line at 455, not where you would expect him to be when he was level 20, level 19, when the rest of the enemy team was at level 15. That type of disparity between how big he is and how little the enemy team, you would expect a much more different slash line to wind up, but I'm sure some lag issues were there as we saw him get disconnected a number of times, but that difference, that mindset of, hey, I'm ahead, let me milk it. Unfortunately, you can get a little too hungry, and that's what we saw with Bakasura.
It just wasn't there, and it was so hard to see the situation that we saw on her sell the Heartseeker. We saw Guan Yu pick up a sovereignty after the fact that Athena already had one. The situation certainly could have been better for Team 23, but either way, they played it well. We saw some wonderful plays, specifically from Draconic Angel on Isis, making some really clutch plays. The organization was there. Even though the jungle seemed to go in Bakasura's favor, honestly, Naja getting caught out far too many times, it just came down to the fact that Cupid just hammering the damage into the enemy team and could not deal with it. The Fields of Love with the cripple shut down characters like Anhur and Bakasura, who rely heavily on their ability to jump away. That's all she wrote for Team 22. They're going to take the victory here and move on. It looks like if we look at the brackets here, they're going to earn the name Oz here and move on to the round of 8. We're waiting for the results of the next match, and we're moving on to the round of 8 to see who's going to move on to the semifinals. Now, of course, if you're looking to see the prize pool for this tournament here, it's going to be 4,000 gems for the first place team, 2,000 gems for the second place team, and 1,000 gems for the third place team. And of course, you also get achievement badges for your Tier Monster profile page. You get all kinds of bragging rights. Tell your friends that you won a tournament, and you didn't even have a team. You're not even on a team yet, and you won a tournament. So lots of cool stuff to come. We're going to cut to a brief break, guys, and we'll get everything all sorted out for the next match on screen. Don't go too far. You're watching the Code Green NA tournament, and we're moving on into the round of 8. Stick around.